Sparking Dog here. I thought it was about time to give something back. You guys have been good to me over the years. 3 years in business for myself now. And I just felt that this might help some people out that have been afraid to tear into the bottom end of a motor before. Or the top end, or any aspect of a motor. This is a 2002 KDX 220 motor. And for you KDX guys, it's the same as a 200. H series 95 to 06, 200, 220 is the same except for the very top end. Obviously the cylinder piston, the cylinder head, and the curved part of the valve is going to be different for the different piston size. So this is pretty much going to apply for any fairly modern two-stroke motocross enduro motor. They're all pretty much the same. There's going to be some variations on the exhaust valves and stuff, but this will give you a pretty general idea of any two-stroke motor. You'd be surprised. People probably think I have a master mechanic tool set, and I don't. One thing, if you don't have it, is air power. And I picked up a Snap-on 3/8 off the internet. $200, hadn't even been used. Compressor is pretty basic, and one thing I usually use is my quarter drive, and I'm not going to use that tonight. The kids are in bed. I don't want the compressor to kick on. With this little Snappy and my other 1/2 inch for a couple of the big ones, I can do everything with one tank air, and that's kind of nice. So we got to be quiet. Oh, and if you don't have one, you want to go ahead and get yourself a nice cold one. I got an import there, so you may need to have a beer when you're doing this. It helps. Now I've already taken the shifter off this because I figured that if y'all can't get the shifter off, you probably shouldn't be doing this. A little block of wood is extremely helpful. Just a basic chunk of 2x4. Down my quarter drive stuff for some of these little bolts. The 3/8 stuff doesn't reach in there very good. If you don't have the magnetic pans, man, they're nice. If I was putting this motor back together, which I'm not, I don't repair bikes, an egg carton is great. Each bin you can write, okay, you got your stator bolts, right on the lid stator bolts, drop them in that bin. It works great, I've done that. Another one that I like to do is a piece of cardboard. Take a screwdriver or a roll or whatever, and you can put an X in a little piece of cardboard. You can do this whole side of the motor, and you can draw a circle here for the stator cover, draw the cylinder head, just a basic outline, and you can start poking nuts into a piece of cardboard like that, and actually done it years later, come back and put the thing back together because you know what goes where. You want to use a dead ball hammer. And honestly, I wouldn't want to do this without air. You can, but I sure wouldn't want to. Stubborn one. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but we're going to need that socket again a little bit. Okay, forget the brass hammers, forget the screwdrivers, pry bars. $17 shipped, I think it was, $12, something like that, cheap. A puller, correct puller for the job. You're just going to mess your flywheel up because it's going to be recessed. I'm going to use this just for a little lubrication, but I don't plug much stuff, but this stuff really works. Blaster, PB penetrating catalyst oil. Any auto parts place has it. Usually use WD. I got this sitting right here just in case. But WD-40 will squirt anything. Would help if I grab the right puller. And this same puller is going to fit so much stuff, it's backwards thread. Supposed to use a wrench to back it up. Make sure it bottoms out in the threads. Tighten the center bolt. Generally don't need a wrench. These come off pretty easy with the right puller. Now, one thing I don't like doing is spinning that motor around and around. I always start on the left side of the motor. I want to do everything I can on the left side. By the time this motor makes a 360-degree revolution, it'll be time to split the cases. That's a tight boot. It's got a piece of gasket still on it. Don't want to rip that. Got a little sticky stuff on it. Underneath the flywheel is a stator, of course. Why in the world Kawasaki wanted to use Phillips head screws, I don't know. Most of the stuff uses 8mm, works a lot better. Some of these can be pretty stubborn. We're going to give one a tap here. Looks like these have been loosened before. What you want to do is get a micro torch if they don't come out real easy. They're going to have some Loctite on the threads. Excuse me. I was thinking about my beer sitting over there. That Loctite can deal you a fit, and if you strip the heads on these out, oh, and I have, you're going to be saying a lot of bad words because they are recessed down in there a good ½ inch. About all you can do is get the Dremel tool off and nibble them out, and that ain't no fun. So use the impact screwdriver. I've got a number 2 screwdriver sitting here, but I probably won't use it. Using a regular screwdriver on any screw on a motor, just waiting for something bad to come your way, let me tell you. Got plenty of rags down here, got a little coolant dribbling out. I've got a paper towel to catch that. There's the car boot. valve spacer, little block. Reed valve's got a gasket on it. Should come out with a little tap. Nice looking reed. Probably be nice if I had a cameraman and some better lighting, but it is what it is. It's a free YouTube video. I'll loosen that cover up for now. Not a huge beer drinker, but tearing a motor apart, the kids are in bed, hey. Nothing wrong with enjoying a couple of cold ones. Ooh, nice look, clean looking cylinder head there. Combustion chamber looks really good. Cylinder looks pretty decent, got a little bit of wear. Give it a little once over here, and that's pretty much everything. We got the cylinder nuts up here. Might as well hit those. No time like the present. And that's pretty much that side of the motor. Alright, we're ready to give it a quarter turn. There's really nothing on the back of the motor to mess with, so of course the front of the motor is the next place. Some bikes don't have anything on the front of the motor. Center kips cover. Looks pretty typical of a KDX, that is. Especially on a KDX, boy, you want to do this now before this cylinder head's laying on the bench. Just get them loose. Now they're going to come out my finger. That's going to save you a few bad words later. That center shaft, I'm going to go ahead and loosen that now too. That one was real easy. Generally stuff in here is not too bad. It's got enough spooge to keep it from ever rusting for sure. And that's pretty much all we're doing to the front side of the KDX motor. Wipe some of the spooge out. It's starting to dribble a little bit. This motor's not too bad. If you put off all top-end maintenance for years and years, you're going to have a nasty surprise when you open up yours. Wear the gloves. Stick that back on. Do one more cover here. Pay attention. This nut is reverse thread. Hopefully you've read the manual. Now if I just put that wrench on there and turn that, there's a shaft. That shaft has a little finger down inside here, and it's not a very big finger. It's going to break that pin off. I've been there and I've done that. So you want to get some pliers and hold that shaft, or you're going to be buying an expensive part from me. And you don't want to use air power for everything. It has its place. Loosen the nut up, just spin that out of the way. That's going to break that free of the cylinder. Definitely going to need some 12-point wrenches in places, like this nut. Nice not having cooling fins, huh? Usually just a couple taps pops them off. Well, could tell you stories about some of them though. The late model KX gave me the biggest fit of all. I bet it took me hour and a half to get the jug off without ruining it. Wasn't much fun. Alright, we got a short intermission because my beer's gone. Tool chest is 2 steps away, but the beer fridge is like 10. Oh yeah, man, smoke them if you got them. One thing I would recommend here is a pair of safety glasses when you're doing this to any piston. I've had some of these clips rather, not cleats, bounce out off my cheeks. Come pretty close to my eyes. That one went sailing. You probably don't want to let them go sailing because that wouldn't be cool to step on later. But don't ever reuse a circlip. Those things are 50 cents or whatever and they're one shot. I got a nice Craftsman 9mm deep socket that works perfect as the piston pin pusher on most motors. Time to check the rod bearing. That one feels really good. We'll gap it later. It should be around, I believe it's 0.17 to 0.21 inches on this one. In no case, for any two-stroke motor, do you ever want even the slightest bit of feelable by fingertip up and down play. Now there's actually a gap to measure with a micrometer or a dial indicator stand, but if you can feel your crank going up and down, your bearing is shot. Don't even think about putting that thing back together. Again, a little block of wood comes up in real nice and handy. Now the left side of a KDX, of course, is dry. Right side not so much so. So we'll have a little dribble antifreeze here. Shouldn't be anything major. I try to drain these pretty good. And you want to try to get all the oil you can out before you get it on the bench. It's worth letting it sit for a few hours. Just a little bit of engine ice down in there. Good time to loosen the impeller. Kind of hard to hold them later. And again, not to plug stuff, but I like that engine ice. That's some pretty good stuff, or motor ice, whatever it's called, or purple blue stuff. Pretty good product. Now, for everybody that's needing clutch work, oh man, there ain't nothing scary under this clutch camera. They all got some guide pins in there, so just don't get them on a bind, they'll pop right off. I got an old piece of carpet down there, by the way. That's something really good to do beforehand. Cardboard carpet, old rags, whatever. Somewhere to pile the stuff rather than on your workbench. You want to keep it pretty clean up here. And we'll get me a new magnetic pan for my dog. No. For the clutch parts. Look like little dog dishes, don't they? Harbor Freight specials. Picked them up like $2 each. Man, I don't know what I'd do without them. Well, I'd drop bolts. That's what I'd do. That's what I used to do. separate magnetic pan just for clutch stuff. And here's the half drive. I picked this up at Sears. This thing has, I don't remember what it is, 700 foot-pounds of torque or something just ridiculous. This was a display one. Got it for $100. It's like a $300 impact, something like that, retail. Man, go for the scratch and dent tools, because I mean, you don't use it once or twice, but it's sure gonna get scratched and dented when you use it. Now, if you don't have that, I wouldn't want to do this. I actually went out and bought a compressor right away before I ever even did my first one. I knew I was gonna need it because I had enough bikes to justify it. You're going to need a clutch holder of some type, and here's a Motion Pro. And you're going to be saying some bad words with probably a breaker bar and a clutch holder. Don't break your fingers on the clutch fingers. You know, if you got air. And the nice thing, I mean, I don't need all that breakout force, but the nice thing is, that's a 22. Thought it was 24. The nice thing with so much breakout anyways is it's going to snap that off there without having to use any little plastic blocks or any little doodads to try to hold anything. It's just going to... I like to hold the crank, and I like to pull it up until it stops and just hold it up, because believe me, I'm no Hercules. It's not going to snap this crank out of my hand, so don't be too scared. And I would not want to do that with wrenches. But if you're just doing it once, there's no reason to go out and buy air if you can't borrow it from somebody. So, understandable if you have to do it. Then I have a sleeve back there and a washer. Make sure you get all the washers, and they're actually called shims. They're going to be different thicknesses. The KDX may only have one. But keep track of what goes where. As you're pulling stuff off the shafts, you just have to make sure you get all the shims. It's a nice looking clutch. We just can go ahead and leave it partially opened up to drain off on the oil mats. Get my oil drain pan all ready too. Do that before too long. And this one, I've never had this happen before. As I was loosening the cable up, there's a little metal finger here that holds the cable. That thing snapped off, so I suppose the outer clutch cover on this one's garbage. I can't imagine fixing that and feeling confident about it out in the woods. Never had that happen, so I guess on the next one I'll use a wrench to hold the other end of the cable. Probably torn down 20 of these motors, and that's the first time that's happened, but it's about an $80 piece, and it's worthless now. Most bikes, including the KDX, you want to prop them up a little bit, keep that oil over on the other side. It's a dry stator, so you're not leaking any oil over there as of now, unless you got a major seal out around your shift shaft or something. In which case you will be leaking oil, so make sure you got some rags handy. This is a late model, I know it doesn't leak any oil, I know I'm not going to have a big surprise when I spin the motor. But I have had a big surprise on other motors, so always be prepared for oil to come gushing out about a half pint of it at any time. Threw those in the wrong bin, didn't I? Ah, that should be it for the clutch gauge, so let me just get that one out of here. Again, it's going to have some guide pins. Just be gentle.